It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
Congratulations. You made it to Friday. It's a huge achievement, and I salute you. If you're just getting off work, you're getting ready for work, getting ready for school, getting ready for the weekend, Christmas parties galore, whatever you're doing all the lights this week and going out and getting the Christmas trees, I appreciate you chiming in. 888-957-9570. Let's get right to it. Massive game for the 49ers this Sunday at Levi Stadium against the Seattle Seahawks. I want to hear from the fans. How are we feeling about this game? What is the pulse of the 49er faithful heading into this one? Biggest win of the year last week in Philadelphia. Potential trap game this week. Although we heard from Kyle Juszczyk, fullback of the San Francisco 49ers, on the morning roast earlier this week saying, we're past that. We're past Philly. We're locked in on the Seahawks. Seahawks are a desperate team right now. And desperate times call for desperate measures. So you may see some trickeries. You may see some, 4th and 1s on their own 35 early in a game going for it. Because they need this win bad. All of a sudden, don't look now, the NFC, sneakily better than the AFC. And maybe not sneakily. We talked about it all week. The war of attrition in the NFL. The bloodbath that was the AFC. All the quarterbacks heading into the season, right? Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, amongst others. CJ Stroud now. Am I forgetting anyone there? Aiden O'Connell? Sure. Why not? Russell Wilson. Just absolute talent all across the board in the American Football Conference. For those of you who don't know what AFC stands for, you'd be surprised, by the way. That was directed at one person and one person only. He's probably not listening right now. That's okay. Juxtapose that with the NFC heading into this season, right? You had the 49ers, the Eagles, maybe the Cowboys. Some do. I still think they need to prove a lot. They have a massive game this Sunday night. A lot of eyeballs going to be on that game. And Nick Bosa had some interesting comments in regards to that game, in regards to the Eagles quarterback as well. You're not going to want to miss that. But heading into the season, it was those three teams basically. And then, weakness. Please. Seahawks, Geno Smith, 1-year wonder. The Rams, The Giants, Danny Dimes, no chance. The Vikings, come on. So everyone was looking at it like, hey, the 49ers better make the NFC just because of what's around them in their own conference. Like at the very least, they should make that. And now they got the leader in the clubhouse for MVP. And it's not their running back, Christian McCaffrey, who's absolutely been the best running back in football this season. It's not him. It's not Trent Williams, the best left tackle in the NFL. Although arguments could be made. When Trent was gone, Brock Purdy, 3 losses. Or when he was compromised. Trent Williams, that is. Well, they shout out Fremont Bank, full service banking, no compromises. But therein lies the problem for the rest of the league. In the AFC and in the NFC. It's the guy I just mentioned, Brock Purdy. Leader in the clubhouse. Playing the best football in the league right now, which, again, what does that mean? It means you're playing your best football right now in December, and maybe his best still is yet to come. I mean, the guy's barely played a full season. If we're just talking games. He hasn't played a full season, just top to bottom, but games-wise, he has a full season under his belt. So are we still doubting the guy? I don't think so. Vegas isn't. I mean, I haven't heard any callers calling in. I still don't know about this Purdy guy. I don't know. Well, let's listen to some first takers. Yeah, first take on ESPN. By the way, you can weigh in on the conversation at 888-957-9570. That's the number to call or text the Comcast Business Text line. Also, hit us up at 957 The Game on YouTube and Twitch. Like, subscribe, all that. We're streaming live and local Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. through 7 p.m. Again, right here on 95.7 The Game. Your home for Golden State Warriors basketball as the Warriors take on the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight in OKC. Tip off there, 5 o'clock. Warriors live right here on 95.7 The Game starting at 4. Obviously, Tim Roy on the call at 5. So I'll have all that pre and post for Warriors Thunder. Massive chance to get some momentum going for the Dubs. They got the win, but not in convincing fashion against a bad Blazers team. So can't wait to break all that down. But it's a Football Friday brought to you by First 5 California. Visit first5california.com to learn 4 things that you could do to overcome toxic stress. And maybe one of those things is not listening to ESPN's First Take yesterday morning when Dan Orlovsky, Mina Kimes, and Kimberly Martin, all very good at their jobs, got into a discussion about Brock Purdy. Let's start with Dan Orlovsky in regards to Brock Purdy being an elite quarterback or not. Should I start with the Kimberly Martin one, Sam, or go with Orlovsky first?
I think in order it was Orlovsky, Kimes, then Kimberly.
Thank you.
That's how you do it on the show.
That's called producing on the fly here when I did a little pass. That was very LeBron James to Anthony Davis a la last night. I've
always said that you and I are the LeBron and Anthony Davis of 95.7.
That's right.
So.
We got rings. I mean, people are going to scoff at them. They're going to call Mickey Mouse, but a ring is a ring. Ring around the rosy. See what the Lakers did last night? Oh, my God. 133-89. Those buffets hit different. They do in Vegas. Zion out there? Pacers Bucks, by the way. Halliburton. Playing like the best point guard in the league. Is that blasphemy in these parts? I don't think so. Right now, he's playing the best. And they upset Dame Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the Milwaukee Bucks. So we got Pacers, Lakers, and that's going to be the final tomorrow at 5:30 in Las Vegas. But back to the Niners and Dan Orlovsky.
He is. We have no evidence that he's not. The reality is this. The production screams elite. Now, I think there's 2 ways that we have conversations about some of these high-end quarterbacks. One, what are you when it's not ideal around you? Okay, so are you still a good player when it's not ideal around you? That is not the situation that Brock is in. Brock is in a situation where it's ideal around you. So the second part of this is, what are we when it's ideal around you as an offense? This is the most unstoppable offense in the NFL this year. And so while, yes, we can say and point out the scheme and the people around him, the reality is the quarterback has made it to what it is. It's unstoppable in many ways. If you don't catch them on a B game and he stays in rhythm, you're not going to stop this offense.
So that was Dan Orlovsky, obviously former NFL quarterback, obviously most known for stepping out of the end zone and getting a safety, a la Jimmy Garoppolo, the pick 8 in Denver just last season already? 2 seasons ago? They're all blending in. It was last season because Trey Lance was hurt. God, that seems like forever ago, doesn't it? It's wild. But that's Dan Orlovsky talking about whether or not Brock Purdy is an elite quarterback. Kind of, saying it, but not saying it. Like, have a strong opinion. Shout out Matt Steinmetz. And here's Kimberly Martin, who's obviously an NFL reporter for ESPN as well, pressing Dan on said subject.
It is okay to say that this man is playing at an MVP level right now, but the question of whether he's elite, it is too soon, in my opinion, to say that. Dan, I would ask you, is Josh Allen elite?
Yeah.
Okay. Is Jalen Hurts elite?
Yes.
Is Lamar Jackson elite?
Yes.
And you would put Brock Purdy in the same category as them plus Burrow and Mahomes?
With the way he's playing in this situation, yeah. But I always say that. I always talk about what they're doing.
You see how the other guys with you, it was like, yes, yeah. With Brock, well, in the situation that
was Lamar Jackson elite last year?
I asked you the question of, are these guys elite? And you immediately were like, yes. In the situation he's in right now, it is fine to say, we don't have to go all in on Brock is the greatest quarterback ever, and he's now in this elite. We don't have to do all that, to Mina's point, to just say he is playing exceptionally well.
Okay. He's playing exceptionally well. But again, why are we so afraid to say he's just one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now? Is it just that term I said, those last two words, right now? Because I can't predict the future. None of us can. But right now, he is the league MVP. Why is it so hard for us to wrap our brains around? Is it because the draft slot? Tom Brady's done this. Kurt Warner's done this. Like, this has happened before. It's not unheard of. Like, these things happen. They don't happen every single season, but in intervals they do. I mean, Kurt Warner and Tom Brady were kind of close, right? And their career arcs were totally different. Maybe Brock, maximizes his time here in San Francisco, then goes elsewhere. Doesn't do well. Like, things happen. But I'm not predicting the future down the road. Right now, he is the league MVP, he is elite, and he is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Top 1, according to Vegas, because they only give the best quarterback in the league the MVP award. It's not Mahomes. It's not Allen. Burrow's out. It's not Hurts. Dak has a chance tomorrow on Sunday night against the Eagles. I think if Dak has a massive game on that platform, he becomes leader in the clubhouse. But what does Purdy do this Sunday against the Seahawks? 888-957-9570. So Orlovsky has spoken. Martin hath spoken. Mina Kimes, fresh off maternity leave at ESPN. Congratulations, Mina. New mom. Mina Kimes talking about Brock's mental makeup.
I would also argue that they have shown mental tools. I'm not saying that Brock Purdy isn't, a good processor and all of that, but when I think about those quarterbacks and the performances that they've put out there over the last few years, there are games where you see them solving defenses in a way that I don't think we have seen from Brock Purdy. Now, you could contend, well, he doesn't have to because of the offense. I think that would be fair. And that would be an appropriate pushback. Well, he hasn't been in a situation where he's had to prove, can I win when I'm trailing? Can I consistently win on third down? Can I solve a defense who's doing difficult things to me? We haven't seen that from Brock. He hasn't been given that opportunity in a way these other quarterbacks have.
And finally, from Mina Kimes, she's not putting Brock in the top 3 to 4 quarterback category just yet.
My interpretation of elite, however, is what you articulated at the end there, Dan, which is this quarterback one of the 3 or 4 best quarterbacks in the NFL? Is the team winning because of them? When I watch him on tape, do I see the quarterback making plays and throws that transcend the scheme and the situation around him? I don't think Purdy fits into all of those buckets the way, again, we're talking about 3 or 4 quarterbacks here at the top of the NFL do. And I hate that in saying so, some people will interpret that as discrediting him or hate, because I think that's a really silly binary. It's not MVP or trash. You can be an extremely good quarterback who deserves praise. I just wouldn't put him in and the question was, elite category with the Mahomeses and the Allens and the Jalen Hurtses of the world.
Why do we keep putting Josh Allen there? This triggers me. What has Josh Allen done? No, seriously. What has he done? Guy comes up short a lot, makes a lot of mistakes. Boneheaded mistakes. But every now and then, he throws these cannons. Oh, my God. You see that game against the Eagles? Oh, he did everything he could. Until there was miscommunication on what should have been the game-winning touchdown in overtime. That can't happen. So Allen right now is at bottom for me. Not bottom of the league or anything like that, but he's not on the Mahomes or Burrow level. For me. I'm not putting him there. Get to a Super Bowl, at the very least. That's where I'm at. That's why I'm putting Jalen Hurts in that conversation as well right now. But Patrick Mahomes, even himself, I think he's also on a tier above everyone else. But if Mina wants to put him in that group, that's fine. Brock's in that group right now. He is. Am I taking crazy pills? 888-957-9570. Shout out Zoolander. Mugatu and his Derelict campaign. Love me some Zoolander. Might be my favorite Ben Stiller movie outside of Meet the Parents. Puff the Magic Dragon. All time. Good morning to all of you just getting off work, getting ready for school. It's the pregame show, Joe Spadoni. It's a Friday. It's a football Friday. Excuse me. It's a payday Friday. It's a Phil Collins Friday. It's a 49ers Seahawks Friday. And it's a Brian Baldinger Friday. Check this out. Brian Baldinger in studio this morning. Oh, yes, sir. We'll be calling the national radio side for Seahawks and 49ers this Sunday at Levi's. And he's going to join the morning roast at 8 o'clock this morning, 8 to 10. Tap in. He'll be on YouTube. He'll be on Twitch. Search 95.7 The Game. Like and subscribe now. Set your timers, whatever you got to do. Because we're going to be taking your questions as well. Call, text, all that. You want to call Brian Baldinger. And it better be some good questions. Because last time we had an in-studio guest, Joe Lacob, my God. You guys need to do better. Some of the worst questions I've ever heard in my life. Not even close. The first question, I think, was my guy Horace. Hey, can you guys go get DeMarcus Cousins? Jesus. That's what we're asking the owner of the most valuable team in the NBA? Can we get DeMarcus Cousins? Be better. That's all I'm asking.
We hold our callers to too high a standard sometimes.
Clearly. Not the pre-gamers. We love the pre-gamers. How's my guy Fabian in San Jose doing? He's fired up. I hope we get another call from him if the Niners win this week. The dump button works. Although I think Sam missed it last time, but don't worry. No one was listening. Shh. Just the FCC. 888-957-9570. Good morning on the YouTube chat, by the way. Rubber Toe, Damon Chang, Unapologetic Draymond Apologist, JH, Fire Kerr. I don't know where that came from. Steve Kerr did speak to Willard and Dibbs yesterday, and we will have that sound reaction a little later on. Some interesting thoughts from Steve Kerr, not just about the team, but about another team in the Bay Area, that being the San Francisco Giants and Shohei Ohtani. You know what? I'll play it now. Steve Kerr, a Dodgers fan, by the way. LA kid, grew up a Dodger fan. That's fine. We love Steve Kerr. He's exonerated. He's won a lot. It is what it is. But here's Steve talking about Shohei Ohtani going to his rival team. What?
I will be dead honest. You're not going to believe me, but as a Dodger fan, I want him to be a Giant. I just think the rivalry is so great. Living in the city, I think it'd be so great for the energy. The ballpark's going to fill up. I'm for drama. I'm for excitement. The Giants have been so great, here in the Bay, and incredible rivalry. And when I tell you I hope Ohtani becomes a Giant, I actually mean it. I'm not trying to endear myself to the Bay Area fans.
Well, he's already done that by winning 4 championships. So I think that, although, going back to the callers, the amount of callers in the morning roast yesterday, fire Steve Kerr, get rid of this guy. My God. So the enemy number 1 hit list right now for the Bay, Klay Thompson, and we're talking about just local players, not opposing players. Klay Thompson, Moses Moody. No, not Moses Moody. Why did I say Moses Moody? Andrew Wiggins. No, we love Moody. We want more of Moody. Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Steve Kerr, Draymond Green all the time. Doesn't matter what he's doing on the court. Hashtag new media. Who else am I missing on the Giants? Anyone on the Giants that's that controversial that we care that much about? Farhan. There we go.
That's about where it begins and ends.
Yeah, it's Farhan.
Maybe Austin Slater, too, if you ask certain people.
Maybe
and Mikey Shremsky.
Austin Slater. The Platooners. So them, No one on the Sharks. They're red hot. We love the Sharkies right now. Can't get enough Sharkies. Huge win. A's, John Fisher, kick rocks. We is what it is. The Niners, everything's great. No, we don't hate anyone on the Niners right now. Although Jake Moody misses a field goal this week, that's in a crucial spot. He'll become enemy number 1 again. Sorry, Jake, if you're listening. I believe in you. So, okay. And then Steve Kerr is all of a sudden like, yeah, you know what? I don't care. You guys are my rivals. This would be fun, right? Please. Some rival you are, Steve. My respect level has just plummeted for you as a baseball fan. Rooting, really, for your rival to get the sexiest name in baseball in Shohei Ohtani, the best player in baseball. Are you kidding me? Come on. Show some dignity, man. Back to the Niners. All right. Thus concludes our Giants topic today. It was actually just Steve Kerr talking about Shohei Ohtani. Until anything happens there, yeah, hot stove can continue to be on simmer, if you will. 888-957-9570, the number. Brock Purdy. We're still discussing whether he's elite, even though he's a leader in the clubhouse for the MVP. And from the Comcast Business text line, Joey Bart for 415. No one hates Joey anymore. He's gone. Patrick Bailey did enough, I think, last year. It was like, we're cool, Joey. He's fine. You know what? Maybe if he gets his mind right, his mental's right, he could be one of those success stories later on in his 30s when he gets called up by the Las Vegas Athletics at that time, and then maybe he has a career. A la Jason Kendall. Although Jason Kendall was good before the A's. Pirates. So I don't know. 408. People are doubting Brock still because he was pick 262. He was Mr. Irrelevant. To which I responded, who cares? I get it, they want to be proved right. I really don't think it's the draft spot anymore. I think it still goes back to Kyle Shanahan, right? If you didn't have success prior to Shanahan in the pros, we're not going to give you the proper credit that you deserve. It is what it is. We're saying, Jimmy Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl. He went to an NFC Championship game. And now they're seeing Jimmy Garoppolo now. Look, it's Kyle Shanahan. He maximizes all this. Look at Kyle Shanahan with Matt Ryan. But we still give Matt Ryan credit because he had success prior to him. That's not fair to Brock. Because I've seen it. We've all seen it. The, level of play catapult from Trey and Jimmy to Brock. It wasn't even close. And granted, I didn't see much of Trey Lance to really have a strong opinion. But I saw it with Brock immediately. And sometimes it takes, certain quarterbacks longer than others. Hell, look at the quarterback matchup this Sunday. Geno Smith, who it's kind of regressed a little bit this year. Maybe regress is the wrong word. He's been hurt. He had a great year last year. He actually played very well, I thought, against the Dallas Cowboys. That front and Micah Parsons, Lawrence, and all those guys, though, just decimated that Seahawks O-line. I'm expecting a similar thing to happen this Sunday when the Niners D-line gets after it. Niners D-line's hungry. They didn't get a lot of sacks against Jalen Hurts last week. Nick Bosa, he wants to get after it. And I'm expecting that this Sunday. Again, 888-957-9570. Your thoughts on the game, your predictions, your feelings on Brock Purdy being elite. You don't care anymore. I think we're all pretty much on the same boat in regards to Brock Purdy. If you're not, hey, I'll take your call. Why not? Here's Baldy, who, again, in studio this morning, 8 to 10 with the Morning Roast. You're not going to want to miss that. Brian Baldinger of the NFL Network and our 95.7 The Game NFL Insider. Here's Baldy talking about the Seahawks being more prepared this week than on Thanksgiving against the Niners.
Well, they got a good coach. They got a great coach. And so they're going to be prepared. They've had 10 days to get ready. DK can beat any corner in this league. You want to play man coverage? All right. DK can still get past you. I think he hit 23 miles an hour on
on that
Thursday night game against Dallas. I mean, there's, nobody in San Francisco is going to catch that guy if he gets that kind of a steam going. So, they've got that. This Jackson Smith and Jigba is a good player. Like, they can put 3 legitimate targets out there. And if you want to play man coverage, they'll have their man beaters up. And, Shane Waldron's a good offensive coordinator. It'll help if Walker's back. I don't know if he is or not. I haven't seen the injury report. But he makes a big difference because he's an explosive back that if you miss a tackle, he can go a long ways. I just think defensively right now they're really struggling. And so to me, the real question is, can they stop teams right now?
Yeah.
And I've seen, I just haven't. They've got a lot of young players. Devin Witherspoon is a really good young player. But Tariq Woolen isn't playing like he did last year. Mm-hmm. And, I know Bobby Wags is in there and Jordan Brooks, we'll see if he's healthy. But they just haven't played well defensively.
And that's a recipe for disaster if you're not playing well defensively, going up against this headache that is the 49ers offense. Purdy, McCaffrey, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo. No, not Rostwelly. He's hurt. Oh, boy. But those guys are all some of the best at their positions. Brandon Ayuk is playing this season like a top 10 wide receiver. Debo Samuel, my goodness. Just destroying the Philadelphia Eagles. The only thing that can get in the Niners' way this Sunday is them sleeping on the Seahawks, and I just don't see that happening. This team is too buttoned up right now, coming off a massive win. They know they need this game because of the Sunday night matchup between Dallas and Philadelphia. Massive implications there. If Dallas wins, the Niners win. Niners on the fast track to that number 1 overall seed. So, huge game this Sunday. They're all huge. We have 5 games left. They're all massive. But this one in particular, not a must win, but I got to have it. Because you'd feel like you left the Eagles off the hook if you lose this game. 888-957-9570. Good morning to mi familia, my family on the YouTube chat. Ernie Chavez, Titan, the quiet boy, Dublin Marge. Appreciate all of you chiming in. Again, it is a football Friday. We want to hear from you fans at 888-957-9570. We're going to hear more Baldy, more Steve Kerr, maybe a little bit of Warriors here at 888-957-9570. And also, more of your calls and more of your texts because it's a Phil Collins Friday, Football Friday, Seahawks, Niners Friday, and it's a holiday Friday on 95.7 The Game.
At Shane Company, we believe everybody deserves to shine. That's why we create fine...
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Phil. Sing it. God. Beautiful SOB. Again, no one can rock a receding hairline like my guy, Phil Collins. Grammy Awards, Oscars, you name it. It's a Phil Collins Friday here on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 888-957-9570, the number to get involved. If you're just getting off work, getting ready for work, it's a little damp out there. Be safe driving. Roadways might be a little slick. Little spatters of rain yesterday all around. It is that time of year, December 8th, 2023. Brian Baldinger in studio this morning, 8 o'clock. Not going to want to miss that with the morning roast. Can't wait for Baldy. And you know it's a big deal because Big Boss Man's like, hey, what do you guys want for breakfast? Oh, he's up. He is up. Better have my A game. Boss Man's listening. It's a legacy show this morning, Sam. Legacy. Speaking of legacy, Stephen Curry's. It's already sealed. He's a top 10 player of all time. One of the greatest shooters. He's the greatest shooter of all time. Not one of, please. Come on. Stephen freaking Curry. Unanimous MVP. 4-time champion. Guy's a beast. All right? He's a beast. You know it, and I know it. But right now, it's Stephen Curry and everyone else on the Golden State Warriors. And that's a problem. Who's stepping up? Wiggins? No. Clay? No. Moody? Yes. Kuminga? 2 days ago, sure. Is that going to be the same tonight in Oklahoma City against a young, fast, athletic team? You would hope. But we've seen Steve Kerr, get in his own head, if you will. But we're starting to see the tea leaves, hear the comments, that maybe, just maybe, he's going to start changing some things. Because sticking to the status quo right now, it ain't working. But listen to Stephen Curry yesterday. I think it was after practice, during practice, shoot around, what have you. Talking about, the starting lineups, like mixing and matching stuff. This was interesting and kind of caught me off guard a little bit. Here's Steph talking about basically not needing to panic about the lineups.
I think it's still a little early to have to kind of look at the overall playbook and say stuff doesn't work and throw stuff out just because we haven't had a constant stretch of the same unit together to try to get those reps. I think we're getting close to that. Obviously, GP being out, but every team wants to be at full strength for a certain period of time so that you can get all the looks out there and figure out what works, what doesn't work, what lineups work together. I know Coach talked about that last night. We're still trying to form an identity with that, but there's a understanding that the learning lessons like the Clipper game, you could argue we were a little bit too pick and roll dominant down the stretch just because they were clearly just trying to take me out of the equation on that front. We didn't have, it was very reminiscent like the Lakers series where you didn't have a change-up pitch. So just making sure we take stock of where games started to get out of hand or our offensive flow started to get a little junky just because, we started to do a certain look over and over again and figure out a way to put ourselves in a position where we have a tight playbook come, the stretch run that we can rely on.
We all love Stephen Curry. His legacy cemented. He's the most beloved Bay Area athlete of all time. Again, I've already listed the accolades. The pro's pro. But I'm going to get on him here. He needs to say things aren't going well. He can't keep sugarcoating this. Blowing 20-point leads like it's nothing. It's similar to last year. And he just alluded to it. Yeah, we didn't really have that change-up again. We were just too pick-and-roll dominant, too pick-and-roll heavy. Just, same thing as the Lakers series. Well, newsflash, The rest of the league is just going to do what the Lakers did in that series and apply it to you. Steph, my guy, it's not working right now. And it's not too early to start being concerned about the lineups. GP2, yeah, him being out, that hurts. And I guess they got good news on his calf. He's going to get reevaluated next week, but he is progressing, which is great news. Anytime it's a calf and you hear progress, awesome. Because they miss him. They miss his energy, they miss his presence, they miss the defense, all of that. Gary Payton II is missed. No doubt about it. But what else is missed right now is a kick in the crotch, kick in the pants, whatever you want to say, to this team. Wake up. This isn't good enough. That's what I want to hear from my star. I don't want to hear, yeah, we'll be fine. Because even when they were healthy, Wiggins, not good enough. Clay, not good enough. And I get it. Steph has built up the equity with this guy, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. He's always going to have their backs. I understand. This is so damn unique. And we were kind of talking about this yesterday. Evan Giddings filling in for Guru with Matt Steinmetz. And, talking about kind of the greats, going at their teammates. You think of the alphas, some of the greatest of all time, whether it was Jordan, that's been long documented. We all watched that during the pandemic, how he got after his teammates and expected greatness out of them as well. Kobe, long documented. Hell, the Dream Team doc, doing that in the Olympics. I mean, LeBron does it all the time. If LeBron and the Lakers lose 2 in a row, this isn't good enough. Something needs to change. So, I mean, he might be a little over aggressive with it. But my point overall is I would like to hear a little more fire than what I'm hearing right there. And maybe that's just not him. Maybe it's just, it's just not in his blood. That's Draymond Green. But although we know it's in his blood because last year in the playoffs, heading into Game 7 in the first round against Sacramento, he had a fiery speech. Hey, if you're not locked in, get the hell off the bus. I think he needs a similar speech now to that team. Hey, if you're not all bought in, Wiggins, Clay, what have you, everyone, Looney, Draymond getting suspended. If you guys aren't locked into this season and trying to win a championship, then get the hell off. Get out of here. We'll trade your ass. Because right now it's me and who's going to help me? Saric? Moody? Kuminga? Chris Paul's been helping. Guy's 50 years old. Can't rely on that. He needs to call out someone. And I don't care how it happens. If it has happened, would love to know. But just being a little, it's too early, pick and roll dominant. I didn't feel confident if I was a fan listening to that. And I get it. Steph is a made guy. But even he, you know what? Can draw a little bit of criticism every now and then. It's okay. The golden boy, I get it. I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. That's fine. But if I heard that, watching this team struggle in that disgusting win, it was a win. It was disgusting, though, over the Portland Trailblazers, I'd be a little upset. I would be like, Steph, really? You're fine with this level of play right now? Okay. All right. He's loyal to a fault, I guess. 888-957-9570. More of your calls on that. If you disagree or if you agree with my take on Stephen Curry being just a little too complacent right now in his comments with the team's play, 888-957-9570. More of your phone calls and texts in regards to Niners Seahawks. It is a Football Friday again. Brian Baldinger in studio, 8 to 10 a.m. You are not going to want to miss that. Plus, wait till you hear what Nick Bosa, or Bosa, as Baldy says, had to say about Jalen Hurts and the Dallas Cowboys. It's fascinating. That's next on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
During the Jeep Wrap-Up the Year sales event, well-qualified current FCA lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2024 Jeep Wrangler Willys 4xe for $359 a month for 36 months with $3,979 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra.
Welcome back. Pregame show, Joe Spadoni. Featuring Phil Collins. It's a payday Friday. It's a football Friday. Phil Collins Friday. Whatever you want Friday. We've been talking Seahawks, Niners. We've been talking Warriors. Stephen Curry's comments. I don't know. Rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. That's not what I wanted to hear if I'm a fan of the Golden State Warriors. We'll be fine. It's basically what I got out of that. This isn't fine. It's not fine. Wiggins is not just going to be, one day he's just going to be okay. Clay's too inconsistent right now. It's frustrating. And I would like to hear a little, calling them out a little bit. This level of play is not good enough. It's frustrating. Yes, we need to get healthy with Gary Payton II, but also, you just need to play better. It's unacceptable. And if things continue to go bad, changes need to be made. That's what I want to hear from my star player. I want urgency from the top of the organization down. Things need to change if it's going to continue to be like this. That's what a star does. That's what the leader in the face of the franchise does, especially if you are desperate for another ring or a chance at another one and the window is closing. Got to have more urgency. Urgency, urgency, urgency. Speaking of urgency, a lot on the line this Sunday for the 49ers and the Eagles and the Cowboys. 49ers Seahawks this Sunday, Levi Stadium. And we'll have all of that coverage prior to the game and post-game. We got the kickoff show, Larry Krueger, Lo Neal, live from the Hilton Santa Clara. Then after the game, tune into Mark Grandy, Sterling Bennett. They'll have you all covered, top to bottom, taking all your calls. What is it, 11-point spread right now? I think the Niners cover that. Niners level of play right now on offense and defense. It's just a step above the Seattle Seahawks. If they're going to have any chance in this game, the Seahawks, they got to get some turnovers, and Geno's got to play like he did against the Cowboys on Thursday night. Not like he did on Thanksgiving. So will they be more prepared? Brian Baldinger thinks so. Again, Brian Baldinger in studio at 8 o'clock this morning with the morning roast. All right. Nick Bosa, talking to the media yesterday in the little scrum, maybe giving a little blueprint for the Dallas Cowboys. Again, the 49er fans, you're Cowboy fans on Sunday. You're not rooting for a tie. No. You may hate the Eagles, may hate the Cowboys, but you are rooting for the Cowboys to win that game. Because then the 49ers will be on the fast track for the number 1 overall seed. Not totally locked up. Still got one more massive test. That's going to be on Christmas against the Baltimore Ravens, again at Levi Stadium. So that's going to be fun. But here's Nick Bosa talking to the media yesterday on the 49ers providing the blueprint on how to defend Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, you see it on tape, though. And then, obviously, we put the blueprint out there. Hopefully, Cowboys watch the tape. We made Jalen stay in the pocket and escape outside instead of those B-gaps, and paid off. Because Jalen's looking at the rush every play. So, yeah, you just have to be disciplined and not give him that quick escape route where he could get to his guys quick.
So, according to Nick Bosa, they provided the blueprint on how to beat Jalen Hurts. It's over. It's done. They did it. Now, the other guys get paid too. So the Eagles, Sirianni and co., maybe Big Dom, who knows? Is he in those meetings? We're going to look back on the Big Dom thing and be like, what the hell is that? That whole situation with Dre Greenlaw. Although Big Dom, if it happened prior to Halloween, it'd probably be the costume of the year. But to Nick Bosa's point, the Eagles will have to shift things around. Obviously, Dallas Goedert being a full participant this week helps them on offense, helps Jalen Hurts. Looked like he was missing his safety blanket at tight end. So Goedert being one of the best in the league will definitely help there. But ultimately, receivers got to gain separation. But if you keep them in the pocket and just, do that cage style, if you will. I was listening to Ross Tucker, obviously a former NFL offensive lineman. He was on with Steiny and Goo this week. They call it a cage type of rush. And think about it, like just using that analogy, that term, trying to keep him contained, not trying to let him escape outside. And Bosa talked about that after the game as well. Hey, our game plan, we knew we weren't going to get a lot of sack numbers. We are trying to keep this guy in front of us and cut off all the exit routes. You can't go here. You can't go there. You can't run up the middle because Fred Warner will pop your ass. Now, they whiffed a couple times, but they adjusted very quickly. Very quickly. And other than, the tush push, getting that touchdown, whatnot, it was quiet night. Very quiet for Jalen Hurts. Now, division games are weird. They've owned the Cowboys. They're going to own them again this Sunday. It's in Dallas. Again, massive game with massive implications for the 49ers. Did Nick Bosa and the 49ers defense? Steve Wilks. Hey, the hell with that. You giving Steve Wilks some credit? It's not his fault anymore. Oh, it's because he came down to the sideline. See, I was right. Came down to the sideline, the booth. That was what was wrong. Okay. Maybe the addition of Chase Young changed everything. Even when they lost 3, defense wasn't awful. The offense was. Why? Because he missed Trent Williams, he missed Deebo Samuel. Those guys coming back, this 49ers offense looks unstoppable. It does. And I'm going to expect more of the same this Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks. Because, as we've heard from Brian Baldinger, Seahawks, secondary suspect. Witherspoon's good. Very good rookie. Woolen's taking a step back this year. Can they get pressure? They didn't on Thanksgiving. And if you cannot pressure Brock Purdy, it's going to be a long day. You have to get in his grill. You have to get in his face. Make him uncomfortable. The Eagles did that in the first quarter. 2 3-and-outs, night, see you later. Then, got a completion to Ayuk. Huge one. Then another completion. Then another one. And then things started to roll. McCaffrey started to run. Then the wheels come off for the opposing defenses. I'm expecting a similar plan this week where the Seahawks will try to, get after Purdy early. But if you blitz, you better get home because he eats the blitz for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not a blintz, which are delicious, by the way. The blitzes. Brock Purdy. He's really unbelievable, this kid. And I'm calling him a kid. He's 20s. I'm only 30 years old. He looks like he's 15. And he's the leader in the clubhouse for the league MVP. And he could bolster his case again this Sunday. I was mentioning, I think Dak Prescott has a massive chance to, improve his odds if he has a huge game on Sunday Night Football, the marquee game of the week. Eagles, Cowboys, at Jerry's World. It's a huge stage. It's also a big stage for Brock. Because if he lights it up, heading into that Sunday Night Football game, a lot of pressure on the Philadelphia Eagles. Already some, obviously, because it's a divisional game, but even more so to try to get that number 1 overall seed. Absolutely. 888-957-9570, the number. What are you doing this weekend? That's always a question on a Friday. How did I forget that? What are you doing this weekend? That's my staple. What am I doing this weekend? I'm putting up some Christmas lights. We have a very small opening window, though, in the front of our house. So it's very easy for you, boy. I already got the Christmas tree up. And I always struggle with the stands, like doing those screw things. I always feel like it gets unleveled and stuff like that. And I know you can buy them and it's already pre-stand. I was like, no, I don't want to have to keep buying the stand. It's like an extra $20. It's this cheap piece of crap plastic. It doesn't cost that much, but they upcharge it because it's Christmas time. Got to feed that sucker. I always forget to do that. And then it turns into a fire hazard and what have you. So got to do that. Get the little nativity scene up, get all that sort of stuff. Go to the back. When I got this house, we're going deep inside because all of you care. We have this little subunit. They installed an indoor door on the outside. That thing is so weather beaten. You need to replace that. So when it rains and then it gets warm or gets a lot of sunlight, it hardens up. Like I can't physically open the door. Very frustrating. But you know it's not frustrating? As I put a bow on this, the morning roast. Bonte Hill, Joe Shasky, 49ers Friday, Football Friday, Brian freaking Baldinger in studio, 8 o'clock. Be there or be square. We'll be taking your calls. Hit us up on Twitch and YouTube. Search 95.7 The Game. Like and subscribe there. Morning roast next on 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter.